WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight at 10. In just a few days, hospital patients all over will be able to see what the charges are for their medical procedure. Starting in 2019, a federal rule requires all hospitals to post the prices for common procedures. Our Quentin Smith speaks with a hospital in our area about this new change. He now joins us live in the studio with more. Hey, Quentin.
Yes, Scott, this now allows patients to shop online for the best and lowest hospital prices. Hospital leaders say this new rule will be beneficial because it brings about transparency. However, they say it could also bring about confusion. Whenever someone gets sick, they usually go pay the doctor a visit at the hospital. However, sometimes the amount of money patients are being charged for their procedure can catch them off guard. But starting in January, that will no longer be the case.
The new rule is basically the Centers for Medicare Services is requiring all healthcare facilities, hospitals, to post what is referred to as the charge master out on our website. It has to be in a machine-readable format.
The new rule will show charges for all procedures in which that specific hospital or facility performs. Winston Medical Center CEO Paul Black says the new rule will be beneficial because it will provide more transparency for pricing and patients. However, he thinks it might also be confusing.
We don't have an insurance company out there that pays us based on what our charges are. We have contracts with the insurance companies, and some of us pay us 6% of Medicare. Some of us pay a negotiated rate, both for inpatient and outpatient ER services. So really the charge is insignificant. It's something that's put out there so that we have to adjust the patient's bill accordingly.
Black says despite the charges being listed, it still doesn't give the patients the exact dollar amount that they'll have to pay out of pocket for their procedure.
Prime example is that we could do a service and provide a service that the charges are $1,000. Our contract with the insurance company says we're only going to pay you $800 for that service. Well, we've got a contract with them, so we accept the $800. We're writing off the $200 difference as what we call a contractual adjustment, and we make no attempt whatsoever to collect that $200.
Now, under the new rule, each medical facility has to update its online prices at least once a year. Black says his staff is currently in the process of gathering and posting all of their information online ahead of the January 1st deadline. Scott?
All right, thanks very much, Quentin. Well, a car finds its way into a ditch after veering off the road on Highway 69 this afternoon in Lowndes County. Two men were in that vehicle when the accident happened. Floodwaters on the highway are likely to have played a role in the crash. The accident is still under investigation, but area residents say they're not surprised. They say heavy rains have become a real problem on that stretch of road.
They redid this bridge at Kincaid Creek because they redid it because the bridge was getting to a point of being washed out with this amount of water. And after that, the nice volunteer fire department is here, and I like it. It's good, but the driveway into it has a culvert that will not access this amount of water. And this is the third time it's run across the road since that has been in.
Well, that storm system that caused that ditch to overflow dropped nearly 4 inches of rain on Lowndes County, and the water is causing headaches for drivers all across the area. Several roads are closed. Our Cash Matlock spoke with Lowndes County road crews today to find out what they're doing to get those roads reopened.
Road management crews have been out since 6 this morning trying to clear the roads in Lowndes County of floodwaters.
We've actually brought crews out all over the county and started unstopping the culverts and all that, because anytime you have a big rain, it brings stuff out of the woods and everything, clogs the culverts. And our main thing today is to make sure we can get the water flowing, keep it flowing to drain off quick as possible.
Over the course of the week, Lowndes County has received almost 4 inches of rainfall, forcing some roads to close.
We've got about 6 or 7 roads that's actually closed now because of high water. It's not drained off and all, and we had one road, the culverts slap out on it, and we've been able to put it back together and got it back open again.
We've also had several roads that have been closed. Gatlin, Elamar, Spurlock Road, Old Macon Road, Dickerson Road, all those roads are presently closed.
And although road crews want to get everything back up and running as soon as possible, they say their primary concern is keeping everyone safe.
I want to urge people more than anything, if we got road closed signs up, don't go through the high water because it's very dangerous. I've noticed several vehicles today going around our road closed signs, and that's the most dangerous thing you can do because the road could be washed out or anything like that when you go through it. So I advise them, if they see a road closed sign, turn around.
The one thing we want to say to citizens, please do not remove the barriers. The barriers are there for a purpose because the roads are flooded, and if they're washed out, it could cause many hazards.
And if you find yourself caught in the middle of a flood, there's a few things you can do.
There's nothing we could do to prevent the rain from coming, but we can ask our citizens who live in low-lying areas to please monitor the weather closely. And if you need to evacuate, you can call 911 to let them know that the water is around your house and you need to evacuate from your home, so we can get shelters open and come and assist in the evacuation of that area.
The road manager says they hope to have all of the roads back open in the next day or two, but more rain is expected to come later this week and early next week. Well, time now to toss things over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson with a first look at our forecast. Keith, when can we expect some of that rain to move in?
By tomorrow night, more rain back in the region. Right now, all quiet. We go to Durham's Pharmacy in Vernon, Alabama. There actually is a little bit of fog trying to develop across parts of the region. The densest fog likely over here across the I-20-59 corridor in the central Alabama. A fog advisory over there until 8 o'clock in the morning, so just be aware if you're going to the east tonight. We actually have a northwesterly flow in our area, and that is ushering in some cooler air. We've got some 40s and 30s showing on up. Lows tonight primarily in the 30s. Tomorrow, your Saturday, basically a dry day for us. Upper 40s to low and mid 50s. Clouds increase, and as I mentioned, showers tomorrow night and Sunday. More in just a few minutes.
A shooting in West Point takes a bizarre twist as the focus of the investigation shifts from the alleged shooters to the victim. Riley Livingston was in West Point today. She has more on the new developments.
DeMonte Cantrell was shot in the head on December 17th at West Point's Marshall Park. Now he finds himself in jail on child pornography charges.
The two arrests that we made yesterday is tied to the shooting that was occurred a couple of weeks ago.
Deontay Congias is also charged with child pornography in that investigation. West Point's police chief Avery Cook says Cantrell was sexually involved with an underage family member of Jason Deans and Elle Starks.
So the shooting stemmed from a juvenile being involved, and that led to the juvenile father getting upset and doing what it did.
Dean and Starks were charged with aggravated assault after the Marshall Park shooting. Investigators believe the men found out about a sexually explicit video on social media and went to confront Cantrell.
The video started sharing and people started putting it out. It got to the parent. The juvenile parent brought it to us, showed us, and then we was able to get a subpoena for the phone.
Cook says sexual videos were found on Cantrell's phone. Court document shows investigators charged Congias after a video was shared on Facebook Messenger.
We don't know it's in and out there now. We're still, like I said, still investigating, still going through the phone.
Cantrell and Congias could face more charges. If you have any information, you're asked to call investigators or West Point police. Well, our Mississippi students, Keith, we'll toss it to you. Sorry about that.
Hello. I don't know. Was I supposed to be here? And I saw the first alert thing pop up. All right. Some flooding over in Evansville, Alabama today. Look at that because of all that rain we have had. More rain chances coming our way, especially sunny in the Monday. Also next week, too. Your full forecast is next.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
No doubt yesterday and even earlier this morning, a soaker around our region. Some spots like this, over 4 inches of rain causing some flooding out towards Steens. Look at this, high water earlier today. And that was the case in many spots across Mississippi and Alabama. But this afternoon, though, we cleared things out nicely in our area. This is our Alpha Insurance Camera Network, Columbus, Tupelo, Vernon, Durham's Pharmacy, Louisville, Mississippi right there. Absolutely gorgeous, some friendly clouds. We are cooling down now into the 40s and 30s, mid-30s now in Little Rock. So we'll bottom out down into the 30s, low 30s to the mid and upper 30s, so primarily 30s here tonight. Tomorrow morning, mid-morning, 9 o'clock, 43, 48 by noon, low 50s in many spots during the course of the afternoon. Now we're thinking that basically, or basically a dry day here. That's what I'm trying to say. The rain chance close to zero here in northeast Mississippi, a 10% chance. I guess that's a stretch here across our southern counties. But overall, a dry day for us. We need another dry day to get all the rain we had out of here, a little bit more so, before we usher in some more rain here tomorrow night into our Sunday. Better rain opportunities to our south on Saturday, so if you're traveling south, pack the umbrella, just be on the safe side. Let me show you Futurecast, and it's picking up on the rain and the storms likely tomorrow afternoon and evening. As we get into tomorrow night and Sunday, look at what happens. The rain starts to shift back to the north as some of that moisture starts to come on in. We push the rain to our southeast today. It is going to be coming back with this warm front tomorrow night into our Sunday. So that is why we have this yo-yo effect of wet and dry, wet and dry. The bigger picture here shows this moisture coming on back, and it gets back in here as we get into our Sunday. We'll have another system that will carry over into Monday. That could give us some strong storms in the region, maybe some more heavy rain, and then some cooler air for the middle of next week, and we may see highs only in the 40s by your Wednesday and Thursday. Here's your AccuWeather 7-day forecast. Again, pretty decent Saturday for us, mainly dry. Some showers there on Sunday. Can't even rule out a thunder shower too. Warm on Monday, the last of the year, around 70, a 90% chance of rain. We're looking at a pretty nice day on Tuesday, your New Year's Day. Some wet and cooler weather Wednesday into Thursday, and it's not totally out of the realm of possibilities for some snow in there. We'll keep watching it, though.
Well, are Mississippi students being tested too much? The legislature may be hitting the books to find out. We explain when we come back.
You're watching WCBI News at 10 with Scott Martin.
Welcome back, everyone. Calls for change to the state's testing system are getting some traction as we approach 2019. Courtney Ann Jackson has new information on proposals that will be filed during the legislative session.
Representative Tom Miles has been pushing for an end to excessive testing for 2 years now.
Now that the federal government is allowing states to have more flexibility through their accountability model, which is called the ESSA plan, and some states are taking advantage of that, and we don't want to be last in Mississippi.
Miles plans to offer up 3 different bills this upcoming session. One, to stop tying subject area tests to graduation.
The federal law says that our students have to take these tests, but they don't have to be used for a graduation requirement.
Parent and teacher Christy Mangum says while the state has created alternatives,
state test is still tied into every option because they have to fail the test in order to take another option. And so the state test is still tied in, and the stress and the measure of stress that goes into those tests is still tied to every available option that I know of.
The U.S. history test is a state mandate, and Miles would like to see it scrapped. It's something Speaker Philip Gunn has recently said the House will likely explore to cut down on the amount of testing. But Miles' ultimate goal is to get the subject area test replaced with ACT. Mississippi wouldn't be the first to make the swap to ACT. Several states, including Alabama, have already gotten the approval from the feds. Mangum says she's seen the stress the state test put on students and wants what's best for them and their future.
Any student who feels like these tests are determining their level of success, it's just not going to happen. It's what you do and what you put in.
Well, Richard Overton probably would have passed the state's American history test because he lived a whole lot of it. At 112 years old, Overton was the oldest World War II veteran in the U.S. and believed to be the oldest person in the country. Overton passed away Thursday. Richard Overton was a member of the Army's all-black 1887th Engineer Aviation Battalion. Born in 1906, he joined the Army shortly before the U.S. joined the war. He was at Pearl Harbor just after the Japanese attacked and saw action in the major campaigns of the Pacific Theater. In 2013, President Barack Obama honored Overton at a Veterans Day ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery. Well, day 2 in Tampa, and Mississippi State football hits the practice field. More on that coming up next in sports.
WCBI Sports, exclusive coverage of the Outback Bowl live from Tampa, is brought to you by OCH Regional Medical Center, Advanced Medicine, Compassionate Care, Bank First, a better way to bank, member FDIC, and visit Columbus, the city that has it all.
Well, Mississippi State football having quite the eventful day for just its second day in Tampa. Sports director Tom Ebel reports from Florida after a full day following the Bulldogs.
Thank you, Courtney. Back here outside of Raymond James Stadium, home of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It'll be the home of the Mississippi State Bulldogs on Tuesday as Mississippi State prepares for that Outback Bowl matchup with the Iowa Hawkeyes. The Bulldogs practicing when it was sunnier out today in the Sunshine State, practicing just up the road at Tampa Jesuit High School, a beautiful facility for a high school football field. But the Bulldogs are probably just happy to be back on a football field after going through travel issues yesterday and going through walkthrough in a tent outside of their team hotel on Thursday. But the Bulldogs preparing, looking confident, as we reported yesterday. Joe Moorhead saying that everyone is healthy, everyone is academically eligible, Keith Mixon being the only one not here in Tampa due to personal issues. And so the Bulldogs, they feel confident. They know that this Iowa team is much different than what they're used to seeing in the SEC. But besides all of that, we have a new sports reporter here at WCBI, a special Starkville native. Willie Gay helped us out trying to get a feel of how the Bulldogs are feeling come New Year's Day.
Here in Tampa, Florida, we got the Mississippi State Bulldogs against the Iowa Hawkeyes. We're about to ask some guys some questions, see what they think about this game. First, we got Marcus Murphy. Marcus, how do you feel about this game?
I don't know how to feel. First experience for me.
First experience?
Yes, sir.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
You gonna dominate?
Yes, sir.
I like it. Next, we have Kobe Jones, Starkville High School alum. Kobe Jones, how you doing, man?
How you doing? Willie Gay?
All right, we're here with WCBI, man. Channel 4. Channel 4.
Close up, G4.
All right, GTA boys right here, by the way. How do you feel about this game, man?
I feel like Iowa's a physical team, so they say, in the Big Ten. And we got a good opportunity to prove why we are who we are, #1 defense in the country. So it's a great opportunity. We're looking forward to it.
Thank you, Mr. Jones.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you. In Tampa, Willie Gay Jr., WCBI, Channel 4. We out.
I have to be careful giving the mic to Willie or I might be without of a job. Willie did a fantastic job talking to West Point native Marcus Murphy and fellow Starkville Yellow Jacket Kobe Jones. Go to our website, WCBI.com, for all of our coverage for the past 2 days here in Tampa, Florida, as we stick with the Bulldogs for their final game of the 2019 season here in Tampa, Florida. Also, make sure you tune in throughout the weekend as we keep you up to date with all things dogs in the Sunshine State as we lead up to the final football game, we should say. High school, college football, all the above. It's the final football game of the 2019 season for North Mississippi as Mississippi State and Iowa prepare for the Outback Bowl. Reporting here in Tampa, Florida, outside of Raymond James Stadium, Tom Ebel for WCBI Sports. Courtney, we'll send it back to you in Columbus.
Thank you, Tom. Itawamba Community College announces its 2019 upcoming baseball schedule. The Indians will have 22 home games throughout the 46-game season. Last season, the Indians boasted a 33-17 season with an appearance in the NJCAA tournament. Head coach Rick Collier says the tough non-division they have helps prepare for what's to come later on in the season.
Our schedule helps us get ready for that grueling conference play when you play everybody in the conference, a doubleheader. We open up with Snead State. They did extremely well in Alabama, and we always have Calhoun, Southwest Tennessee. We picked up Columbia State. They're really good. We always play powerhouses out of the north, Wren Lake and Lakeland. That schedule helps us just to see kind of what it's going to be like when we get into Mississippi play, and it's a tough schedule.
Well, it should be a good baseball season, but we're not done with football season. We'll have plenty more action coming from Tom in Tampa and leading up to Mississippi State playing in the Outback Bowl. But that's going to be it for sports. Your last look at your forecast is coming up next. Stick with us.
A little bit cooler tomorrow, some upper 40s, low 50s out there. Clouds will increase, but we don't really anticipate a lot of rain tomorrow, Scott. As we get into our Sunday, even tomorrow night into Sunday, rain showers return, a better chance for some heavier rain, maybe some strong storms on Monday, but we're up to 70 for a day before we cool things down Wednesday and Thursday. Some cold rain in there. New Year's Day, though, on Tuesday, is looking pretty good.
But 70 degrees on New Year's Eve.
The last day of the year. We go out with a bang.
Hey, that's winter in the South, right?
There you
All
go.
right, thanks, Keith. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.